Hey guys, how are you all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So yeah, hope you guys have all had a good day trading. Yeah, we obviously Bitcoin opened quite a bit lower this morning. But yeah, we'll have a look. We'll go over and have a look at the charts to see see what's been going on, what our indicators have been saying. So we'll go straight over here to the this is the Bitcoin chart, 15 minute. This is what we use for the DMT. So you can see we have the sell trade. Let me just get rid of that. Yeah, so we had the sell trade. It came down a bit to nearly 2% profit, and then it's currently come back up, and so it's offside at the moment if you were still in that trade. If you didn't take profit and then had a break even stop, which is kind of what we suggest. I mean, this DMT is pretty much a breakout strategy, so it does usually perform better when you sort of get a breakout. So you can see here the buy line was here. So when we broke and closed above that line, sorry, the buy line was here. So you can see we substantially broke above it, and that was sort of a breakout. So DMT is great for breakout trading. So obviously you see we had a breakout, and then obviously the market then continued going up and up and up. You can see this is not actually a real breakout as such. Like, we haven't had like a big pump through it. It's sort of the volatility has come down in the market, so the DMT sell line has got closer to the price, and then we sort of kind of in a way almost drifted through it. So it was never as convincing breakout sell, like say we were trading up here, and then bang, we came down, broke through it. That is obviously more indicative of we're going to get a follow through and it's a bigger move. Breaking it when we're so close to it isn't necessarily going to perform that well for DMT. So this is why we use DMT in conjunction with Dominator, because Dominator is sort of the opposite. Dominator isn't really going to look for breakout moves. It's going to look for, say you coming down, basically a trend is or price action is basically starting to look weak in this example, so it goes over to a sell, and then yeah, you can see we sort of come down, but it's not looking for like massive breakouts. That's kind of not how it works. So that's why these work well together, because this sort of detects a change in just changing trend, the more subtle trading trend in the price action, like an exhaustion at a level if we go up and then we start to look a bit tired, and DMT is more of a breakout strategy for when we break out of basically what is the trend or formation that we were in previously. What I have done, I don't know why I didn't do this before. Normally going to 25 minutes to look at the Dominator, but what I've done, I've just adjusted these settings. So we've basically got the 25-minute Dominator would be their settings on this 15-minute chart, so we don't have to flip between the charts now. Don't ask me why I didn't do this before. Just know that it's sorted now, guys. So there we go. So Ethereum. Ethereum, we can see here, we got the sell, the DMT sell, a couple of days ago, yesterday. In fact, like we said we broke down. You could have taken profit. We came back up, but I mean, as you can see, we were obviously still weak. We came down quite a bit more in here in Ethereum. So if you measure where we did come down, so initially you came nearly 2% on side, basically 2% offside, and then ultimately nearly 6% on side again. And then all the way back to basically break even, where you could potentially sell this again. This, based on this indicator, is a good sell here, because obviously we've got this horizontal resistance. We're still in this is obviously the 25-minute, the equivalent of the 25. This is basically the Dominator that we use, right? If we just leave it at that now. So this is the Dominator, still in the sell. It actually took the sell, the Dominator took the sell pretty much at the same time, like almost exactly the same time with this move down. And then yeah, so you could reshort that retest of that line, and then you'll be in profit. I mean, you can have a stop loss just above it, but yeah, you can see how that goes trading wise. Right, so a new segment to how we trade in our daily trades. This is more how I am actually managing my trades during the day. So what we got here, I did a video on this. This is the momentum direction, which to be honest I haven't really used a lot today. This is the larger time frame Dominator, which is in essence that 25-minute Dominator that we use. So that is showing us that basically we're in a sell but coming back towards a buy. And this is a different setting of Dominator we use for basically more short-term entries and deciding whether we are going to take these entries. So this morning I was showing you this sell trade here that I said did look like a relatively good sell trade. It was quite similar to the sell trade here. You can see we're still red in the shaded area for range and stop. You can see we were actually red here as well in the shorter time frame block. But the only problem was we were in the middle of the range. So we had come down quite a bit. So you can see we often test the top of these. We come down, we'll test the top, come down, test the top. We came down, we did come down and test the top nearly, but then we subsequently got our sell trade here. So it did look like it was okay to take even though you're mid of this range, but you would have had basically your stop at basically a close of a candle above the range, which we got. And then incidentally we then got the buy. We could see that the larger time frame Dominator was coming to a buy, so we actually could take a buy when we closed the candle basically above this top here. So we then basically get the first up move in the larger time frame, and then as you can see, so we break through, close the candle, you can then buy here, as per this buy signal. Now we broke through the top of the range, so we're not getting rejected from the top, we're not still in the top, we've actually broken through and closed through. And then yeah, and that would have been a profitable trade. Then you probably would have taken it off on this spike above and then back under. I mean, when we didn't then keep going up here, you would have then taken that off at basically the top of the range level, which then probably would have been that retest there. You would have had your orders in for. And then what happened was we then got our sell trade here. But again, we're sort of middle of the range, but this is definitely not as good a sell here, because you can see the larger block, larger time frame for range and stop is moving up. You can see the short one is green, green, green. That's all green. This is obviously still red, so that's fine. This is actually coming back up towards a buy, like we did say, but we are at the top of the range. We are an overall down trade. We've had a bit of a retrace. It wouldn't be the worst trade to try and take a short at the top of this range. So you'd had your stop wherever you would have had your stop, obviously not to lose much Bitcoin, but we have then subsequently come down, but I mean, we can easily make our way to the top of this range here on the basis that we are potentially starting to move back up again, but we'll have to see what happens. But I'm in this short anyway currently. The short that I took basically in the high 8,900s, so I'm basically about break even. It came down a little bit. I took a little bit of profit, but I'm still in the majority of the trade, because this is not a convincing trade, as convincing, to be honest. This is not as convincing as this short was here, but obviously that short didn't turn out to be a good one. But we did have a talk about that short, how obviously you could have you were short from here. You could have then took a short when we started to get rejected from this top of the range here, because everything was, if you look, basically ignore that, everything's still just looking bearish here. So then you could then, as we came down, taking your profits at the bottom of the range as we break through, and then re-added your short up there. So that's probably where you would be short from, not necessarily here. You'd be cognizant of covering your position if we get towards the top like we did, and then potentially going long like you could have done. So that is how we'd use range and stop. It was a bit of one of those days where we weren't trending down, so it wasn't as easy as basically sell the top, sell the top, cover the bottom, sell the top, cover at the bottom, sell the top, and then no cover at the bottom. This time we start moving up. So now it's still the case maybe of sell the top, maybe cover at the bottom, maybe even buy at the bottom now, and then take off the position at the top. So we'll see what happens with the trend going forward. But you can see using this Dominator setting here, this kind of sort of gives you the idea of what sort of trade you want to be looking at, and then you want to look for us to see at what point using the range and stop you actually want to enter that trade, and then also the trends in the range and stop to tell you if you actually do even want to enter that trade. You actually want to enter a buy trade here, where at the top of the larger time frame, with everything looking bearish, just apart from this here, and obviously that they're saying to buy. But yeah, so that's something for you guys to think about. This range and stop indicator is available. It does work really well with other assets, individual stocks, even with Forex. It does work well, and it works well with the indices, so the S&P as well. I will do a separate video on those for people that trade those to have a look. But this indicator is actually only $150 for lifetime access to this range and stop indicator. And there's a whole host of various different things you can edit and take off style-wise for it. And then the indicators, there's actually the chandelier line, which I don't usually have on. This sort of is another indication of whether we are in a bullish or a bearish trend. So this is another one you can have. I just feel like it sort of convolutes the actual the actual visual aspect of it, if you see what I mean. But what this line does, it kind of shows you that when we're above it, generally bullish. When we're below it, generally bearish. And obviously it goes the darker pink colour. Above it, generally bullish. Below it, generally bearish. And then we did break above that. So in all fairness, you could be looking at that as a potential, basically bullish confirmation. And what we do, I mean, what it is called, we call it a chandelier stop. Chandelier stop. So what that is when you're in either a long or a short trade, when you break through this line, that's when you basically take the trade off. If you're in a long trade, and if you're in a short trade, when you break through and the line changes color, that's when you take your short off. So that's how we use that. So I'll just take that off. So yeah, $150 for lifetime access for that, guys. So if anyone's interested, like I said, I'll do some other videos for Forex, stocks, and indices as well. But anyway, so there we go, guys. So remember, this is not a financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and yeah, hope you guys have had a great day. The weather's not been so good here, where I am anyway, in the UK. So it'd be nice if we could get the summer back, so I can at least I can work on my tan, even if I can't do the if you guys watch Geordie Shore, it's like gym, tanning and laundry, isn't it? So I guess I could do my laundry as well, but no gym. So there we go, guys. So yeah, if you guys have got any questions about any of the indicators or the bot services that we have, my Discord link is in the description. And yeah, so on that note, I will leave you guys to it, and I will speak to you guys soon.